Hello. In this video, I'm going to talk about play, specifically dogs playing with other dogs, and some things that we do with every dog that comes into our care when we are building out healthy play so that all dogs can have success when they are playing with other dogs. Oregon Tails has been an off-leash pack service since 2008, where we do many things on unfenced property with dogs off-leash. One of the things is play, them playing with each other. We used to have things happen in the pack that were undesirable, such as growling, posturing, dogs playing too rough. And since then, we have reflected, refined our work, changed a lot, and created a system that every dog follows when we are building them out to have them all succeed in play. So what this looks like is no dogs are barking at each other, whining at each other, demanding play, bullying dogs, feeling overwhelmed and shut down so that they don't feel like they can play, being worried about dogs running into them when they're not playing. One dog's running and then a bunch of other dogs are chasing them. We don't have that happen. Dogs that police other dogs and feel that they need to break up play. We don't have scuffles, we don't have arguments, we don't have fights, we don't have any of this stuff. What we do have is dogs that are here to enjoy and to grow, or to grow and then enjoy. So, in this video, I'm just going to talk through some of the things that we have implemented with the pack and that we do with every single dog now that comes into our care, and it has helped bring about this success. So the first thing that we do with all dogs that come into our care, dogs that are going to be in our life in a longer term way, is that we establish our relationship with them on lead first. So we don't start a new dog in the pack, let's say, and then the first day we've unclipped the leash and there they are running around and playing. We want to establish our relationship with them so that there's a link between us, so that they're not out with space, feeling alone, feeling like they need to defend themselves, feeling like they need to run away from something. By the time a dog is off leash with space or on a long line with space, they know that we are their support system. The way that we build them out is using technique of the gentle method, which is the form of communication and dog handling that Jonathan created that we use at Oregon Tails. What this foundation also does is it releases stress in their physiology. It works through behaviors that they come in with, whether it be overexcitement or reactivity, fear. We're working through that in the gentle method. Simultaneously, we are working on our foundation and relationship with them. And also, with the nature of the gentle method, it is building a foundation of neutrality, of peace within their being, within their physiology, so that they have that to return to as well. This is helpful when we're building out play because it helps them regulate themselves, which is something I'll go into, so that they can come down out of play, out of that heightened state, and know where they can return to. We teach them what that space is for them to return to, and then of course we help them return to it. So there's a lot that we're working through in the gentle method first. The dog doesn't need to be perfect by the time we're giving them some space to play, but we do like to have this foundation to a nice place by the time that we let them have some space to play. This is going to depend dog to dog how much time that takes. So the second thing that I want to talk about is once we give a dog space, once we feel that we have a nice foundation with them and we would like to continue to build on our foundation, but then also be giving them space to start to play and interact with other dogs. If a dog is in a place where they might need support, they might play too rough, They might not recall. They might be playing and then be running to a squirrel in prey drive. They might want to bully a dog or posture or have odd, awkward body language. If there's something that we're working on or that might happen with a dog, we will have them on a long line. For us, we always start dogs on long lines. We go over this in Oregon Tales Online, in other videos. We always start dogs on long lines first with the long line in our hand so that we can guide and support the dog if they start to put too much pressure on the other dog, if they start to lose their link with us, etc. It does mean that we need to have a little bit more involvement in their play, which is how we like to work. We like to be involved in their development and not have undesirable things happening that we can mitigate from happening by having them on a long line. So that might mean that we're holding the long line and we are following them around as they're playing, but we would rather have them feel supported to this degree. We would rather build their relationship out this intimately because we've done the opposite and we know where that goes. And we did that enough years and years ago, and we were like, we need to do something else. We need to change our system. So having the dog on a long line. For us, we start it in our hand, and then eventually we drop the long line so that it's just dragging on the ground, and the dog is dragging the long line while they're playing. So that is also an option for having a long line on a dog. So if the long line's dragging and the dog starts doing something that we want to interject with, we want to be a part of, we want to interrupt, we can grab the long line and communicate and support them. So the third thing that we have, as you could say, a rule for all dogs, no matter where they're at in their development with play, is we only have 2 dogs playing with each other at a time. So it could be 2 playing here and then 2 playing here, that's fine. Or 2 playing here and then 1 playing by themselves, that's also fine. But when you have 2 playing and then a third wants to join in, we ask that third dog to exit the play. I don't think I have seen healthy play with 3 dogs playing with each other. Usually one of them comes in because they want to break up the play, or they want to maybe stand and be stiff over the dog, one of the dogs, or you have 2 on 1, which can create a lot of pressure on that one dog. Or 2 becomes 3, becomes 4, becomes 5, and then all of a sudden you have this big group of dogs chasing one dog or wrestling with one dog, and it can just get out of hand. So for us, 2 at a time. 2 at a time is wonderful. A note around this is that we will release the dogs and they'll be running around and playing in the field, or they'll be running around and playing in the water. And there will be many dogs, 5, 50, running and playing, and they can all run and play, but because they're not playing together, it's that they're running near each other, doing their own thing, more like parallel play. That's also fine. It's when there's chasing, there's sparring, there's wrestling, when there's more engagement, that's when it's 2 at a time. Yeah, when there's engagement, 2 at a time. So the fourth thing I wanted to mention is taking breaks from the play. So dogs that are balanced in play, they will play for a bit and then they will break off and stop playing and take a break. Maybe they lay down, maybe they go smell something, maybe they just stand there and catch their breath. This is what we like to encourage and teach the dogs to do in play. What can happen is that play can be happening and it goes and goes and goes, and then it starts to build on itself. And if they don't take natural breaks, it builds and builds and builds until something happens, until a dog goes over the top, or until their instincts kick in, or until something happens. It's kind of like kids that play maybe a little bit too long. It's like someone's gonna get hurt. It's like that. Whereas if someone maybe had stepped in, if there had been a break given, then there might not have been that accident. There might not have been that explosion of energy. What can also happen is two dogs are playing and then one of them wants to stop playing. And they start to communicate that in their body language, in their energy, and we like for that other dog to understand and feel that and be respectful of that and stop playing. What can happen is if the dog is not maybe coached through this or understand this concept, which we teach the dogs through Longline, through the gentle method, how to do, is they will keep going to that dog that's done. And that's when you can get a dog that corrects a dog or a dog that feels shut down and doesn't want to play. So what we'll do with this, with new dogs we're teaching how to play, is we will interrupt the play. It could be after 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, 2 minutes, depending on how adolescent they are, depending on how well they're already naturally playing. And we will bring them out of play using the long line, which is why we have them on a long line. We'll bring them out of the play, de-escalate their energy, bring them back into our relationship, bring their energy down, and then we will let them go back into play. It is a really beautiful thing when a dog is playing in a nice way like this and they are breaking up their own play. The next point, the fifth thing, is matched play. We have a video on YouTube that is showing pretty darn good play. We have another video, I believe, where we're showing play. We have lots of videos in Oregon Tales Online where we go through this. But matched play is where the dogs are well matched in their play style. So if it's a dog that is maybe a little bit more gentle, a little bit softer, the other dog is also soft and a little more gentle and maybe not like an adolescent wanting to go full tilt into the play. It's okay if they're not matched. We will just be a part of that play. So if one of the dogs is really soft and another dog is maybe more forward, we will be a part of that play with the forward dog to help them play at the level of that softer dog. We teach them how to change their play style and regulate it depending on the dog they're playing with so that they can have balanced play, matched play. But that is something that is important to us. It's not one dog pushing the other one around, one dog always on top of the other dog. We like to have that balance to it. And this, again, is something that we teach. Most of the dogs that come into our care, they are pretty socially awkward and they don't know how to play and understand communication of the other dog. So we will teach them how to have successful, healthy, respectful play with the other dog. The next point, the sixth point, is if two dogs are playing, maybe it's because the energy is escalating, maybe it's because you don't know the other dog as well, maybe they're new to you, or maybe it's a family dog, or it's a dog in a dog park. If you have a gut feeling that it's not feeling good to you, if you have that feeling in your gut of, I don't like this, I don't like where this is going, this doesn't feel good to me, break up the play. Just stop the play. Bring your dog out of the play. This is again why we have them on a long line so that we can teach them that, and if they're off leash, they can come out of that play really quickly because by the time they're off leash, they're well seasoned and understanding, and they don't forget their link with us. But break up the play. Either break up and just leave the situation, or break up the play, let them come out of the play, like taking breaks, and then maybe let them go back into the play. But trusting that gut response in us when it's just feeling overwhelming, it's feeling like it's too much, break up the play. The seventh point is that we are always the ones to do the teaching. We are always the ones to communicate when it's time to stop playing. If a dog is playing too rough, we step in. If a dog is vocalizing, we step in. We are always the ones guiding the situation. We do not ask the other dogs to take on this responsibility of teaching. We do not ask or want dogs correcting other dogs because the one that they're playing with is out of balance or is showing weird body language. We are the ones to step in. We do not put that responsibility on our pack. This is a bigger topic, so this is something that we can go over in other videos, but we do not have dogs teaching other dogs in the pack. There's no hierarchy. There are no police dogs or sheriffs or whatever that go around and break up play or need to keep other dogs in check. We are the ones holding that responsibility. The dogs are just there to grow and to enjoy. They don't need that pressure. And the final point is spatial awareness, is awareness of beings in their space while dogs are playing. So we, as people, don't ever need to soften our knees because we're worried dogs are going to run into us. Dogs do not run into us during play. They don't play on us, like leaning up against us or playing near our legs or anything. There's space from us. If dogs are running, they're not going to run into us. If dogs are running, they're not going to run into other dogs. We have a large age range at Oregon Tails. We have dogs that are in their golden years, and then we have dogs that are puppies. We don't want older dogs who maybe aren't playing to feel like they have to keep their awareness of the space because that puppy's playing and they're going to run into me. They don't need that pressure. Dogs that are playing, we teach them awareness of their body in space. So they're not hurting themselves, they're not running into other dogs, maybe hurting other dogs, or just creating unease and pressure for dogs that aren't engaged in play, no matter the age range, as well as us. Again, this is something we teach because some dogs don't understand this and they will run into people, they'll run into dogs, they'll run into a fence. We will be guiding the dog and teaching and helping them build their awareness of space, build their awareness of their environment so that they don't get so checked out that they forget about where they are, who's around, what's around. If dogs are off leash, if dogs are on long lines, if dogs are playing, if they're running around playing, they always remember us. They always remember their space, where they are, where dogs are in their space, and then they always remember us. So they don't get so lost in play that they forget about us. We work very hard building a really beautiful and deep relationship with the dogs in our care so that they always remember us. We're always their support system. We're always there for them. We're always aware of what's going on so that they don't feel pressure, so that they don't sit in fear alone and we're just checked out, forgetting about them. We are always aware of them and they're always aware of us, and this includes in play. So if they're playing, they'll keep an eye on us. They will understand when we're moving towards them, when we are moving on from play, and maybe we were at the river playing and then we're leaving because we're going to go hike. They will feel that and shift down into more work mode and let the play go instead of being attached to playing with themselves, playing with dogs, playing with whatever, and let that go because we're moving on. So this is something that's very important when we're building out play. But we love dogs playing with each other. We think that it's a really enriching and beautiful experience for them. And with this protocol that we have put into place, it's not everything that we do or everything that we teach. Again, if you want to learn more, there's plenty in Oregon Tales Online talking about play, talking about building this out. But it's very important to us. We love to see dogs running in a field playing with each other, or playing, splashing in the water with each other, or playing in the grass with each other, or laying on their backs playing. It's an enjoyable piece of our life with dogs, if that is something that they are choosing to do, or if that is something they are ready to do. We like to build it out in a very respectful, safe, and connected way. So I hope that's helpful. Thank you.